We get started with today's message, today's topic, and today's thought. I've been talking about the word depression, and we've really been working the stew out of it. C.E.Brown, if you will, let's kind of recap some. We talk about depression, and we start off with Job, the 3rd chapter, verse 1 through 13. She's not going to read none of that. Just for those that are listening and watching, then you'll know our opening scripture was Job, the 3rd chapter, verse 1 through 13. It talks about Job's situation. Job had 10 children. And I said before, and I say it again, that Job's situation, the Bible said, happened as one was speaking, another was coming. That's depression now. One thing behind another thing. The Bible said, for example, his 10 children, 7 sons and 3 daughters. That's 10 kids at one time. Now, we have had some fertilization or some death situation before. But it's been look how spread apart it's been. You know, this happened one year, this happened another year, this happened this month, this happened within this period of time. But in Job's situation, the Bible said these were all 10 of them was gathered under one roof. And they all was killed. Imagine fertilizing 10 children at one time. Let's put it today's time. Can you visualize 10 caskets going across that altar? Isn't that something? Look at how many friends connected to them that is hurt and wounded. Not just the loved one themselves, such as the mother and the father.
That's right, that's right.
If there's a mother and a father, a strong possibility there may be some aunts, some uncles, some nieces, some nephews, some cousins. All of these people are affected at one time. So who do you call? Who do you look to?
Wow.
Job really was in a depressed state. A depressed state, Junior. And not only did he lose his family by children-wise, but he also had 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yokes, which is equivalent to 1,000 yoke of oxen, as well as the camels.
Wow.
All of this he lost in one day.
One day.
Now, maybe you had a car repossessed one year. Maybe you experienced a foreclosure one year. You see what I'm saying? I said all these things right, we go through these sporadic changes. I remember back in 19 such. I remember in the early part of 2000, I experienced it. It may have all of it hit you at one time.
One time.
One day, one time. Even if it did last a whole week, still one time. What you gonna do with yourself? Job didn't have time to cry.
Nope.
That's right. Didn't have time.
He didn't have time to mourn. Because of the heavy and the devastation was so great. And then we say to ourselves, his wife said, won't you curse your God and die? Although he said you sound like a foolish woman, in other words, an unlearned woman. You sound like a woman that don't understand the move of God. But let's not look at her and bash her, because you got to keep in mind, these are her children too.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Come on. She lost 10 children like he lost 10 children. See, a lot of times we try to separate the man from the woman from the man. If Job lost 7,000 sheep, she lost 7,000 sheep. If Job lost 3,000 camels, he lost 3,000 camels. Come on. Whatever Job lost, she lost. They both shared it together. You know, take this, we in it to win it.
We in it to win it.
So whatever Job was going through, she was going through it. It's just that by him being the breadwinner, by him being the man, there's so much heaviness on him, because he got to realize, I'm here to take on the burden of everybody. Come on, I take on the burden of my children, I take on the burden of my family, I take on the burden of the laborers around me, all the workers, I take on the burden of my wife to make sure everything is going well. Now all of a sudden, all of this has broke down on me, and I got to deal with this depression. That's why I say these words, hats off to those single mothers out there. There's no man there. I know you're trying to raise that boy, you're trying to raise that girl, you're trying to raise that family. And I understand that you're a female, you really don't know what to really do when it comes to that boy, because that boy got the mind of a male.
That's right. Amen.
So my hats off to all the ladies out there that's under duress, all those ladies, the women out there that deal with depression, the depressing situation where there's no man there in your life. My hats off to you, because you all have a very major role on your hands.
That's right. Amen.
So the Bible talk about, and this one really sticks out to me, the Bible says, while he was yet speaking, while he was trying to get out what had happened, the Bible said another one coming.
Wow.
It was one thing after another thing. One thing after another thing. In other words, there's somebody standing in line saying, but Joe, I got to tell you something. I got to tell you something. And Joe trying to figure out what in the world's going on. So while he's talking to this person, he see another person running with stress on him. And he's trying to figure out now what he going to say. What she going to say. What, you see what I'm saying? Everything around him is carrying bad news. Bad news, bad news, bad news. Anyway, let's move on. So we talked about, amen, she's going to read the definition of what depression is. This is our last subject pertaining to depression. Then we're going to move on to something else for next week. But what is the definition for the word depression? What does it say?
A mood or emotional state.
It's a mood or emotional state. They say be careful of your mood. That'll cause you to become emotional. Read on. What does it say?
That is marked by feeling of low self-esteem.
It has the touch of low self-esteem. All that goes together. A mood, a feeling. And now my self-esteem is low. When I look in the mirror, not just only what I see and who I see, but what I see. Low self-esteem. What else?
Worth or guilt.
My worth or guilt. I really don't feel worth anything. I don't feel worth the dirt that I'm made out of. Or guilt, the things I done done in life. I can't get past what I've done. I really don't believe it was me that did those things, but I done them. I like to put the blame on somebody else, but I can't. I done it. Somebody say, I done it. So since I did it, I done that, then I realized that what I got to get past that. I'm not going to beat myself over what I've done in the past.
That's right.
Read on.
And a reduced ability to enjoy life.
Now you hear that word, and this is where we're going to climax on this, about the definition. The reduced ability to enjoy life. That devil don't want you to enjoy life. He want to keep your life as bitter, as sour, as disturbing, heartbreaking, crying, whatever. He want to keep you in that state because he don't want you to enjoy life. And I said before, if you're divorced, but you and your four, enjoy life. If you don't have a car to drive, you got to walk everywhere you got to go, enjoy life. If you don't have money to spend, you're living off a food stamp, whatever you got to do to survive, enjoy life. Come on. If your health is not as good as it used to be, you can't get around like you used to, somebody still say the word, what? Enjoy life. In other words, I'm going to pick up the broken pieces of my life and I'm moving on. I'm going to tell myself, and don't nobody else tell me, I'm going to tell my own self, you're going to enjoy life. If I don't have nothing but grits in the morning, grits in the midday, and grits at night to eat, I don't have no other meal, I'm going to enjoy them grits.
Yes, yes.
In other words, Brother Vic, I'm going to make the best out of things. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to make the best out of what I'm going through. I'm not going to allow myself to go into a hole and die and feel low and feel disgusted. I just want to lay in my bed, put the covers on my head. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to see nobody. I really want to breathe. The devil is a lie. I'm going to enjoy life. If I have but one life to live, I'm going to enjoy the life that I'm living. Which is going to kick up over to our next subject called suicide. We're going to deal with that on our next segment in our next message we come around. So now let's look at, we talked about three things already. We talked about what caused depression, and that is governing your thoughts. And that we're reading out of the book of Philippians, the 4th chapter, verse 8 through 11. That was Philippians 4, 8 through 11. Don't have to go there. We talked about what caused depression. And that was governing your thoughts. Put on your mind what you want on your mind. I don't let thoughts just run loose and run rapid on my mind. I control what I think. I allow myself to think. If I'm thinking of a topic, this is what I want to think about, not what's on my mind. Because if I don't do that, I find myself crying and boo-hooing and not understanding what I'm going through. The next thing we talked about was how to detect depression. Isaiah 26, 3 through 4. And that's the battle of the mind. I settle myself. I don't let my mind continue to just wander off and wander off. My mind is somewhere else. My body's in another place. And I'm all tore up from the floor up. No, the battle of the mind is I demand that I'm going to live in peace. For he that keep a mind stayed on the Lord shall be kept in perfect peace. Then we talk about the root of depression, Ezra, the 4th chapter, verse 1 through 5. And that dealing with poisonous company. Those people in my life that's poisonous. They don't mean me no good at all. They walk with me, they call me, they email me, they text me, they send a smoke signal. Whatever they do, they are poisonous company. I got to be able to detect those poisonous company people and say, no, baby, it ain't going to work this moment. No. It's over with. I'm deleting your number. I'm not going to call you. You going to be making no booty calls at 3 o'clock in the morning. No, it's over with. It's poisonous company. That's what I said. That's right. Don't be calling me 3 o'clock in the morning. Don't be calling me between 12 and 4. Come on, y'all. You can't be with me in the daylight hour. Only be with me at nighttime. The devil is alive. Why you got to be a vampire visit? All right, so we talk about poisonous company. They smile in your face.
Yes.
And they stab you in your back. And today we're going to talk about the stages of depression. Reading out of the book of Mark, the 5th chapter, verse 1 through 20. It's a little reading. We're going to just kind of dissect and get out of it. That's Mark, the 5th chapter, verse 1 through 20. This is the stages of depression. And this stage is called isolation. Isolation. All right, what do Mark, the 5th chapter, verse 1 through 20 say?
And they came over unto the other side of the sea, into the country of Gadarene.
Yes.
And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man.
Met him out of the tombs. Hold on. From the graveyard came the living dead. There came a man out of the graveyard. Now, he wasn't a man that had been buried. He wasn't a man that had died. He was a man that lived among the dead. There came a man that met him, read.
With an unclean spirit.
And this man had a what? Unclean spirit. Unclean spirit will lead you to the graveyard. Read the book, what it say?
Who had his dwelling among the tombs.
He lived among the tombs.
And no man could bind him.
And no man could bind him.
No, not with chains.
Read on.
Because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him.
When an unclean spirit is in control, it will give you power beyond measure.
Wow.
This man chain breaking. This man feather breaking. No man can tame him. No man can hold him down. They're trying to bring him to a sense of understanding. And since they couldn't bring him to a sense of understanding, they cast him out the city, and he found his living, his dwelling among the dead. Read on what it says.
And the fetters broken in pieces, neither could any man tame him. And always, night and day.
Night and day, verse
5. He was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying and cutting himself with stones.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? The devil causes man to live like a wild animal.
Wow.
He had the wolf spirit in him. In the midnight hour, he crying as the moon is out. And while crying, he's cutting on himself. This is what depression will do to you. It'll control your mind and cause you to cause affliction to your own body. You find yourself crying and don't know why. And in the process of crying, you start cutting up yourself. How many people know people that start cutting their wrists? Come on, mutilate their own body. This is what depression will lead you to. It'll lead you to mutilation. Read the book, what it says.
But when he saw Jesus afar off.
Somebody said, there's hope in the valley. Oh, God. Come on, say, there's hope in the valley. There's hope in the valley. There's hope in the valley. You got to be able to see Jesus afar off. When you can't see nothing else. When you can't see your way. When you can't see your mama, your daddy, your brother, your cousin, your sister, your friend, whoever, whatever. At least learn to see Jesus. Read the book, what it says.
He ran and worshipped him.
He ran and worshiped him. Read on.
And cried with a loud voice and said.
Verse
7.
Yes.
What have I to do with thee?
Now he cried, what have I to do with you? Why ask that question? Because it wasn't the man talking.
That's right. That's right.
Woo, it wasn't Jimbo that was talking. Oh, I wish I had a talking church. But it was that spirit on the inside of him. That spirit recognized that this is the master. The spirit recognized that this is the one that's going to cast me out. What do I have to do with thee? In other words, what you come to do with me? What's going on here? See, that's what that spirit don't want you to be, what? Cast out. That's why he don't want you to come to church, because you get what? Cast out. He don't want you to read your Bible, because you know he'll get what? Cast out. He don't want hands laid on him, because you know what? He'll get what? Cast out. Somebody say, cast that devil out. Cast that devil out. Cast that devil out. Get out of my mind. 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 Cast the devil out. Read.
Jesus, thou Son of the Most High, I adjure thee by God.
I beg, I said, Liz, I remind you by God.
That thou torment me not.
You hear that word? You hear that word? That ought to tell you it wasn't nothing natural talking.
That's right.
Because this man never met Jesus. This man didn't know who Jesus was. This man didn't know no capability of Jesus. But this spirit on the inside of him recognized there's a greater power and greater he that's in me than he that's in the world. This spirit recognized that, wait a minute here. Everybody else tried to bind me and couldn't do it. Everybody else tried to lock me down and couldn't do it. Now I recognize the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, that I am that I am. Why have you come to torment me before my time? I know I'm going to be tormented, but today can't be the day. I'm not through tormenting this man. Don't you torment me, Jesus.
Wow.
Read the book.
Verse 8. For he said unto him, come out of the man,
Loose
thou
that thing.
unclean
Somebody say,
spirit.
loose that thing. Loose my son. Loose my daughter. Loose my body. Loose, loose, loose. Read the book.
Verse 9. And he asked him, what is thy name?
He asked him, say, wait a minute, hold on. Since you know who I am, you tell me, what's your name? What's going on with it? What's your name? Read on.
And he answered, saying, my name is Legion,
My name is called Legion.
for we are many.
Hear that word? We are many. Not I am, but we are many. Baby, when depression comes, it'll bring many things with it.
Wow.
Oh, man, I'll say it again. When depression comes, it'll bring many things with it. Come on. And this is what the man said. We are called Legion, for we are many. We are many in all kind of areas. We are many in all kind of facets of life. When depression comes, it'll cause you to do many of things. It'll cause you to think of many of things. Many of things that have you bound. It'll be your mama. It'll be your daddy. It'll be your money. It'll be your honey. It'll be all kind of things that's in you because of depression. We are many.
Wow.
Read.
Verse 10. And he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country.
Read.
Now there was there nigh unto the mountains a great herd of swine
Hear that word?
feeding.
Mm-hmm.
And all the devils besought him, saying, send us into the swine.
Did y'all hear that word? Now he said all the what?
Devils.
All the what?
Devils.
So you all see depression as what? Devils. You all see isolation as what? Devils. Oh my God. Wish I had a talking church. You all see crime without no understanding as what? Devils. Anything that possess you, unclean spirit, they are called devils. Devils are spirit that come, my God, to possess the human bodies. That cause you to be the adversary of them, and they the adversary of you. They war against your spirit while trying to control your flesh. They was all called devils. This devil can't have my body. This devil can't have my mind. This devil can't have my life. I'm going to enjoy life. I will not walk in depression. I will not walk in low self-esteem. It's called a devil. You can have the church, but still have a devil. You can have some money in your pocket, but still have a devil. I want to cast that devil out. You must say, get out, devil, get out, devil. Get out, devil, get out, devil. Lift your hand and shout glory. Lift your hand and shout glory. Lift your hand and shout glory. Somebody shout glory to God. Glory to that devil gotta go. That's what I got to see. Crying is all right, but crying without ceasing is a devil.
It's a devil.
Are you hearing me here? Being broke is all right, But being broke with no hope is a devil.
Yes.
I wish I had a dog in church. I said, being broke with no hope is a devil. I can't see to myself getting no money. I can't see no doors being opened. I can't see no way being made. The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. That spirit is of the devil. Because the Bible said, the earth is the Lord, the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. The cattle upon 1,000 hills. There's hope in Jesus. There's hope in Jesus. But I got to see him. There's hope in Jesus. I got to run to him. There's hope in Jesus. I got to worship him. I got to worship him. I got to worship him. Somebody say worship him. What? When you get to him, you can realize all the things you've been missing.
Wow.
This man was in isolation. And that's what I want to come drive a nail a little bit. I'm going to call it quits. The spirit would drive you to isolation.
Isolation.
It don't want you to be around company, friends and family, and people that love one that has a mind of Christ. Because you can be around family and still don't have no family.
That's right.
You can be around friends and still don't have no friends.
That's right.
But when I start involving myself and revolving myself around people that has the mind of Christ, now I can find family.
Woo. That's right.
I want to hang with the church folks. I want to be with the saints. All right, get ready to read. So when I see these things happening, then I know I can live. Because in the company of the saints, the Bible says, I was glad when they said to me, let's go to the house of the Lord. Come on. And when I start getting in the company of the saints, I was glad that I was around the saints. Because my inheritance among them that are what? Sanctified. Not cranktified, but what? Sanctified. I want to be among those that are not complaining and grumbling and always talking down and depression. The devil is a lie. I want to be around those that's happy about what the Lord is doing. The joy of the Lord is my strength. The Lord is my head. The Lord is my way maker. He is my promise keeper. I wish I had a talking church. He's my everything. I got to hang around people that talk like that, walk like that, act like that, live like that in order to survive. I can't be isolated. Don't let that devil isolate you. Don't let him get you by yourself, push you in a corner, and cause yourself to go down, and go down, and go down. Devil's a lie. I'm going to lift my eye to the hill, which cometh my help, my help. My help, my help, my help, my help, my help coming from the Lord. Read the book what it says. I got to go, y'all.
Send us into the swine that we may enter into them.
Are you hearing that? Read.
Verse 13, and forthwith Jesus gave them leave, and the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine.
Wow.
Jesus cast the devil, the unclean spirit out to something that was called unclean. See, swines was called unclean in that day. Come on. He cast the unclean spirit out and put him into something that's unclean. Read on.
And the herd ran violently down a steep place
Yes.
into the sea.
Uh-huh.
They were about 2,000
2,000, a legion of them.
and were choked in the sea.
Are you hearing that? They was choked in the sea. Now, wait a minute. Let us not be confused. When the Bible said that these 2,000 spirits, when these 2,000 demons, when these 2,000 devils, oh, Jesus, I feel like talking, y'all. When they was cast out, when they went into the herd, when they went to the pig, when they went to the swine, the hog, whatever you want to call them, they went down into the water and they drowned. Well, Junior, I have good news for you. Yes, oink, drowned. But the spirit did drown. Piggly Wiggly drowned. I wish I had a talking church. I say Piggly Wiggly drowned. But the spirit did drown. Moo Moo drowned. But the spirit, oh my God, did drown. Porky drowned. But the spirit did drown. I wish I had a talking church. Oink, drown. But the spirit didn't drown. You can't drown no spirit. You can drown the carnal. You can drown the fleshly thing. But if you want to drown that spirit with praise. Drown it with the presence of the Lord. Drown it with the anointing. By obeying God. By walking in truth. By calling those things which be not as though they were. I am the head and not the tail. I am blessed and not cursed. And Read.
and told it in the city
Just read
and
on.
in the country. And they went out to see what it was that was done. And they come to Jesus. And he said, and see him that was possessed with the devil
Hear that
and
word?
had the legion,
Read.
sitting and clothed and in his right mind,
Hear that?
and they were afraid.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? They saw him the what?
Sitting,
Sitting. Hear that word?
Clothed.
Hold on wait a minute. They saw him what? Sitting. You hear that word? Saw him sitting. Saw him sitting. He wasn't running around like a nut. He was sitting. And what?
clothed.
And clothes. Look, he put some clothes back on. Now see, you all say, hey, I pray that I be clothed in my right mind. Ain't my clothes in your right mind. He has to put some clothes on. He was sitting with clothes on. And conjunction. What? In his what? Right mind. When you are depressed, you're not in your right mind. When you are depressed, you are naked. When you, I wish I had a talking church. When you are depressed, you are wandering about, bouncing from here, bouncing from there. The Bible said this man was sitting. In other words, I'm stabilized now. I'm not bouncing from here to there and there to here. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. I'm not naked no more. I got clothes on, and I got my right mind.
Thank you.
Depression will strip you
Yes, it will.
and have you wandering about,
Preach this, Pastor.
and you'll be out your mind.
My God, this is good.
Read the book.
And they that saw it told him how it befell to him that was possessed with the devil.
See that? That spirit, depression, will do these things to you. What verse?
Verse 16. And also concerning the swine. 17. And they began to pray him
Read.
to depart out of their coast. And when he was come into the ship, he that had been possessed with the devil prayed him that he might be with him.
Now, can't you tell he's in his right mind now? I said, can't you tell he's in his right mind now? Because, baby, when you get your mind right, you want to be with the Lord. Oh, God. I said, when you get your mind right, you want to be with the Lord. I don't know about you, but I want to be with the Lord. All the other time, I was all by myself. All the other time, I feel like Halliburton doing the army now. All the other time, I was walking alone. All the other time, I was doing things I had no business doing. All the other time, I was without Christ in my life. All the other time, I wasn't going to church. All the other time, I was broke, busted, and disgusted. All the other time I didn't know what to do. But now since I done met Jesus, I done received it in my life. I want to be with the Lord. Wherever he go, I want to go. Where he lead me, I want to follow. Somebody shout glory. Lift their hand and shout glory. I want to be with the Lord. I want to be with the Lord. They won't do. Lord, I want to be with the Lord. You ought to bump your neighbor and say, neighbor, there's peace in God. Neighbor, don't let that devil cause you to be by yourself. I know you may be separated, but you're still not alone. You may have lost a loved one, but you're still not alone. You may be kicked out, but you're still not alone. When I got Jesus, when I got Jesus, when I got Jesus, somebody shout Jesus. Come on and shout Jesus. Say Jesus. Say Jesus. Woo! He wanted to get him all by himself. That's how it started happening to you. You get you all by yourself, you start having all them kind of thoughts. Finish reading that, I gotta go.
Verse 19. Howbeit Jesus suffered him not, but said unto him, Go home to thy friends and tell them how great things the Lord had done for thee and had had compassion on thee.
Are you hearing this word? Go tell folks how he brought you out. Let them see you. They know about you. There ain't no secret when they know you when you go down. But I go let them know what the Lord did for you. That's the end of the verse.
Last verse, verse 20. And he departed and began to publish in Decapolis how great things Jesus had done for him, and all men did marvel.
Are you hearing? How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. How great is our God. Everybody say now, how great
is our God. Sing with me.
how great
Is our God. Oh, to see how great.
how great
How great
is our God. Give a clap, praise everybody who have the amen. Listen, I want to sum it up by saying these words. Don't let that spirit put you in isolation. It's a terrible thing to be isolated. You start getting there by yourself. And that's when thoughts take over. That's when thoughts start having its way with you. Because you're isolated. The devil want to push you in a corner. He don't want you around the saints. He don't want you around this word, hearing this word. Bible reading. Gospel singing. He want to keep you in a depressed state that he can control you. That's why he can make you feel comfortable with a little something to drink, a little something to smoke, because those are just only temporary fixes. You're still depressed, but you're high.
Oh my God. Wow.
You're still depressed, but you're drunk.
Oh Jesus.
So when the alcohol wear off, depression still is there.
It's still there.
Only thing you did was put a band-aid over the wound and didn't treat the wound.
Oh my God, my God.
So when I make my mind up, listen, no, I'm not going to turn to alcohols and drugs and past company and past friends.
Jesus.
I'm going to do what the man did.
Yes.
See, Jesus far off, I'm going to run to him.
Yes.
And I'm going to worship him.
Oh, glory to God.
And I'm going to find a place in him. When I find that place in him, I'm going to let everybody know, you know what? This is where I am now. I'm not cutting myself no more. In other words, Elder Bishop, I'm not beating up myself no more. This man was pushed into isolation. Now he's beating himself up. That's what the enemy will do to you, y'all. He'll cause you to start beating your own self up. When there's nobody else to beat you, you'll start beating your own self. I'm going to pray for everybody in a few minutes, but I want you to understand. Isolation can be devastation.
Yes, Pastor.
It really can cause you. Cause nerve damage. It'll cause stiffness in your neck. It'll cause pain in your back. It'll cause tension in your body. It'll cause your head to hurt without giving up or releasing. But when I start releasing myself from this pressure, getting that spirit out of me, man of God, continue to preach to me. Continue to lay hands on me. Because I feel life coming. I feel life coming. I shall live and not die. Whoever I'm talking to right now, whether it's Facebook Live, whether it's through the recorded line, or you to sit here right now, I'm here to tell you, you can live and live in peace and enjoy your life without being depressed. But you got to do what the man done. I see Jesus and I'm going to him. I'm going to him. I'm not worried about what happened in the church, what I feel about the preachers, the preacher wife, or whoever, the deacon, the choir. No. I'm going to worship Jesus. If I go worship Jesus, then all these other things will be taken care of. Everyone give him a clap break. Thank you.